Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're having a look at a watch. We've looked at a couple of watches in the past, but not one like this. This is the Systema Data Watch, straight from, well, according to the box, 1996. The Systema Data Watch bears a striking resemblance to another watch that looks the same called the Magnum, and also to an early Xeon databank watch. First of all, a big thanks to von Rummelsdorf and Curti Unlisted for their super thanks on the Mavica camera video. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. It has been a while since that video came out, and that's because I've had a short break as I've been busy with the theatre and bits and pieces around the house. So I snagged this a couple of months ago as brand new old stock on eBay. And the packaging certainly looks the part. So let's take a closer look at it. Inside we've got the instructions. Gonna be handy are those. And in the bubble wrap is the watch itself. It is already running, so I assume the seller put a new battery in, as it couldn't have been working for all this time. So before we jump in with the watch itself, let's just take a look at what's on this box. First of all, I mean, what a design. So it stores 50 names and numbers. There's a full diary schedule with reminder, dual time zone display and daily alarm feature. Other radical features include an 8-digit calculator, I'm not sure how radical that is, calendar and security code. I'm just going to say this, but surely the calendar is the same as the schedule. But whatever, it's a powerful databank in a wristwatch. It is like the future. So this is the only date I've managed to find for this production, because when I went online, I literally can't find anything about Systema other than they produced a mechanical watch some time ago and are perhaps Swiss. On the back it says you've got to use the designated battery as above, read the equipment instructions, install correctly, blah blah blah. And then it says on here it uses a 2016 which is supplied and not to mix, blah blah blah. So rather than trying to point out what all the buttons are on here, which is a bit small, I've blown it up on here. So you'll see all the calculator buttons are in yellow, making them easy to spot, with the plus, equals and enter all being on this final button. We've got a back arrow, a forward arrow, set, 12, 24 hour and delete key all shared there. This is the one for the sound. This is the AM PM button. We've got enter here, space / day, and here we've got the mode key. So first things first, we need to set the time. So we do that by pressing and holding set. You can see it started flashing, and now we can put the date in. Of course, this is in American format, so it's month first, and we are still in April. And I believe it's the 12th today. And I'm just going to leave the time as it is because it doesn't really matter. You'll have noticed that the day hasn't changed. So what we need to do to change that is to press and hold set again. And then press the day button, which is the same as the space button. And we can set it to the day that we want. Pressing enter now, we'll finish the setup. And there we are. So let's have a look at the different modes available. So you cycle through the modes, surprise, surprise, by pressing the mode key. So we've got a secondary time mode. So again, you just press set and then you can change this. So we'll just scroll back. We'll make it, I don't know, China. That's where it was made, I guess. And then you press enter and then set the time. So they're about 8 hours ahead. And now we've got 2 times. Next up, we've got alarm. So to set the alarm, all you do is press set, pop in your time, press enter. You'll see there's a little icon there, and that means that the alarm is set. If you want to unset the alarm, you just press the sound button, which is there, and it'll turn it off or turn it on. So we'll just wait a moment and we'll see what the alarm sounds like. So classic piezoelectric speaker there, nice little beep. That'll do nicely. So we'll turn that alarm off. I don't want it going off randomly later, and we'll move on to the next setting. So now we reach name. So initially we've got 1,392 bytes. So this is the amount of information that we've got left on the watch. This of course is for phone numbers. So we're just going to pop a couple in. To start putting them in, all you do is press set and then start by entering a name. There are 10 letters across the top. Once you reach the end, continuing to press buttons just alters the last of the letters that you've put in. If you want to go back, you can use the arrow keys to go back. And this deletes the ones that you've just put in. The one that's flashing is the next one that will go in, like so. So if we just go back to there, we'll pop that back in. Once that's done, pressing enter will bring us to the next portion, and here we've got up to 12 digits that we can enter in. So this would be suitable for a mobile number, for example. Once that's done, pressing enter again will give you up to 8 more digits. This could be used as a local number where you know the area code already, or it could be used as a date of birth, for example. In the numbers section, not only can you put numbers, but you can add a dash as well. So this is perfectly suited for such things. Pressing enter again will then save it. So I'll just pop a couple more numbers in. So now we've got a few names in. You can view them by pressing the arrow keys and it'll scroll through in alphabetical order. And of course you can go backwards if you choose. You can also jump to a name by simply pressing one of the digits. Like so. If you wish to edit one of these, all you need to do is press the enter button. It'll pop you up at the top. You can then add to it. Like so. Pressing enter takes you to the number part again. Pressing enter again to the bottom, and then finally it will store it. So now that's been edited. If you want to delete a number, then all you need to do is find the one you want to delete, and you're going to press the delete button up at the top and hit yes. And that's it, and you've retrieved your data. In the manual, it does say you can use the phone numbers as a memo pad. However, with only 10 characters, you're a little limited in what kind of a memo you might make. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video, which is going to be on this, the Oregon Scientific pen-based PDA. Next up, we've got schedule. So again, we've got the display. The memory is shared between the memo and the schedule. And once again, we've got nothing in there at the minute. So if we want to set one, all we need to do is press the set. Now you pop in what you're going to do, like so. Pressing enter takes you to the date and time. So it is in American format. So 0422 will be the 22nd of April. And we might go to work at 9 o'clock. Now when you've set this, it will automatically set an alarm so that when it reaches 9 o'clock on that date, you will get 30 seconds of beeping, which can be ended by pressing enter as a reminder that you've got a schedule. Pressing the arrows allows you to scroll through any schedules that you've put in. So we'll add a couple more so I can show you. I should mention at this point that if you want to set something as AM or PM, there's a little button here for PM, and all you do is press it and that's now PM. And that, of course, is AM. There is a 24-hour option on the time, and I'll show you that in one moment. So heading back into the schedule now, as you can see, we can scroll through the various things that are going on. You cannot jump to them by pressing a button. It doesn't do anything, so you can only scroll through them in date order. In addition, if a date is in the past, it will still start with that item before moving on to future events. It's quite easy though. Once you've had an event come and go, all you want to do is select it, hit delete, and then press yes, and that will free up your memory and of course keep you up to the most recent schedule. Next up, we've got a calculator. Yes, we all know how those work. We've got the numbers obviously in the middle. We do have a plus and a minus memory. In addition, there's the clear key. We've got divide, times, minus, equals, and plus are on the same key down at the bottom, and that will give you the answer. Here's the clear button by mode, and otherwise it's a pretty standard 8-digit calculator. As always, if you exceed the numbers, you get a little E. So what the lock function does is essentially allow you to hide any of the databank functions. So its standard setting is 0000, which is unlocked. If we pop in a different number, like this, press enter, it's now locked. We've got a little lock item there, and when we press mode, instead of going to phone and schedule, it just jumps straight through locked and back to the calculator. To unlock it, you need to go to lock. You need to put the same number in that you put in originally. This will unlock it, allowing you to see the name function and the schedule function. Leaving it there will relock it once you go out of there or once it times out and jumps back to the time. If you want to set it back to being open, all you need to do is put your number in, and then when you reach lock again, put in 4 zeros. And you'll see the lock key has disappeared and everything is once again open. In the time, if you press and hold set, you can change it to AM and PM using the PM button here. And to change it to 12 and 24 hour, all you need to do is press this button while in time mode. You don't actually need it to be set. So one of the things I did notice was that while the box says it uses a CR2016, the instructions say otherwise. It refers to a 2025 battery. It's worth knowing as well, apparently if we press and hold the space key for 8 seconds, then we can change the battery and not lose the information. So let's have a quick go and see if that actually works, because it's worth knowing whether or not you're about to lose everything. So the battery cover is held in place by 4 of the actual tiniest screws I have ever seen. Come on, camera, focus. Anyway, they're incredibly small. None of the screwdrivers I have will fit apart from this one, which came out of a cracker. Rather annoyingly, the head on this one has sheared, so I'm just going to find a very fine flat head and see if we can get it out. Okie dokie. I think that wants to go in the bin. I don't think we need all 4 screws anyway. So first of all, the question is, what battery's in here? And that is a CR2016. It does look like there may be enough space to put in a bigger battery. In fact, it looks like you could put in a significantly bigger battery if you wanted. So we need to check whether or not we can keep our contents when we change. So we're going to press this. Let's hold this for 8 seconds. Oh, and it turns off. That's interesting. Okay. So now we should be able to take that out. And pop it back in. And it's reset the days. And it's reset everything. So yeah, so maybe I was too slow, or yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Since we've just lost all of that, not that it was important, and I've got the back off, we might as well see if a 2025 will fit. So the question is, will the back still fit on? Yeah. So with a little bit of wriggling, it looks like we can indeed get the case shut correctly, and so a 2025 will work fine. And I have to say the contrast looks a little bit better, so I think I'm going to leave the new battery in. So I can see this has got quite an effective scheduler. Of course, it tells the time, which is the primary function of any watch. Having had a quick play, the buttons are surprisingly easy to press with accuracy. And it looks like I'm going to be able to store well over a month's worth of appointments at any given time. Maybe you had one of these, maybe you've got one of these. Perhaps you have a similar one, perhaps you've got the more expensive Casio databank. If you do, pop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories about them, and of course whether or not you still wear them. Of course, in all of this, the real question is this still a usable piece of wearable tech in 2025? So to test that out, I'm going to swap my usual Cosbet Optimus 2 for this watch instead for a couple of weeks, and I'll let you know how I get on. So don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss that video. A big thanks to all the viewers, commenters, subscribers, and of course to the members who directly support the channel. I appreciate your input immensely in the polls, and your comments are always valuable. As always, my name's Hugh, this is Handheld Computing. Thanks for watching.